Hello Legacy Sabers, Marsh here. So today we're going to talk about the proportionality theorems. Basically, what theorems apply to triangles and also parallel lines for us. So you're going to want to grab out that foldable that we made in class, the really short one. It's about skinny, half a piece of paper. And we're going to we're going to go over the first part. So, first theorem that we're going to talk about today. If a line parallel to one side of a triangle intersects the other two sides, then it divides the two sides proportionally, excuse me. So if I have two sides that are parallel to one another, it's going to cut these pieces into proportion. So ultimately what I can say is that QT over SU would be equal to TR over UR. So this piece over that piece is this piece over that piece. You could also go QT over TR is equal to SU over UR as well. Many different ways to set that kind of problem up. Go ahead and open up that tab and you will see these two problems to work on. So we're going to go through these couple of problems and then we'll move to the next tab as well. So if a line is parallel to one side, so we're going to first set up. So I have the two parallel lines here, which tells me that this over this equals that over that. So I can go x over 27 equals 16 over 12. That's because I have two parallel lines. Sometimes this doesn't work. If you don't have parallel lines, you cannot use this method. So I got x times 12, that would be 12x, equals 27 times 16, holy buckets of big numbers, 432. Solving for x, divide by 12. So x can equal 36 after I divided it. So this would be 36 right there. Let's do the same thing here. We're missing a side length right here, but we already have an x. I don't want to give it two x's in the same problem if I don't have to. But I do notice that this whole side is 28, and I already have 8 of that right here. So that must mean that this piece right here has to be 20, right? Because if the full side's 28, that has to be 20, because then 20 plus 8 gives me 28. Now I can set up my proportion. So I'm going to go this side over that side. So I'm going to go 20 over 8 equals 3x minus 5 over 10. Now let's go ahead and cross multiply. So 20 times 10, that is 200. And then 8 times that stuff, so that would be 3x minus 5. Distribute that 8 in, so I got 200 equals 24x minus 40. Yep. Got to add 40 to both sides, it looks like. So I'm going to get 240 equals 24x. Looks like I got to divide by 24. So I'm going to get x equals 10. Okay, go ahead and close that flap and go to the next one, right below it. So parallel lines and proportions. If you have three parallel lines that intersect two transversals, they're going to divide the transversals proportionally. So I have 1, 2, 3 lines that are parallel. That's why we have the little arrows on them. And they're going to divide these two transversals proportionally, which tells me that I can go UW over VX is equal to WY over XZ. Another thing I can do, I can go UW over UY, so I can do the full length as well. That's allowed to you as well. Don't forget, you can do basically a lot of different sides, as long as if I would go UW over UY, I would have to do the same thing of VX over VZ. So just be careful of how you set up your proportions as you work through this. So go ahead and open up that flap. So it looks like I want to find this side right here, which tells me I should be able to set up side over side, just pieces, right? So 15 over 18 has to be equal to 16 over x, because these are my parallel lines right here. So I got 15 times x, that's 15x, and then 18 times 16 is 288. So I divide by 15. Ooh, this one kind of comes out as a decimal. That's okay. 19.2 is the correct answer after setting it up. Let's look at this one, shall we? One thing I noticed, this little piece right here, the full side's 35, but I already have 25 of it. So this little piece has to be 10, right? Because 10 plus 25 gives me 35. 22 has got to relate to here. Then I got the full length, which I could find what this side is, but it's going to be kind of gross. It's going to be 7 plus 14x minus 22. Ugh, that's kind of gross. But I could set little piece over little piece equals full side over full side, because that's something that we can do with this method as well. So actually, I'm going to go 10 over 35. So little piece over big side equals little piece over big side. Like that. 10 times that, so I got 10, 7 plus 14x equals 35 times 22, which is 770. So I will distribute the 10 in, so I can get 70 plus 140x equals 770. Looks like I need to divide or subtract 70, excuse me. So I got 140x equals 700. Looks like I gotta divide by 140. So x equals 5, it looks like. X can equal 5. Alright, let's look to the last tab of our little foldable today. So if I have angle bisectors and proportions. So if a ray bisects an angle of a triangle. So bisects, guys, remember, makes these two angles congruent to one another. Then it's going to divide the opposite sides into segments whose lengths are proportional to the lengths of the other sides. What does that actually mean? What that tells me is that AD over DB, whoop, that should have been a D, not a B. DB is going to be equal to AC over BC. So this side, and then these two pieces. Let's apply that and see if we can figure this out. So, it looks like, I'm going to call this little piece X, though they do want the full length, so we'll just make sure we pay attention to that. I can set it up as X over 7, so that piece over that piece, equals that side over that side, 20 over 28. So I got 28x equals 140. Looks like I gotta divide by 28. So I get x equals 5. But remember, guys, that's not what they wanted. They wanted the full side right here, and this is actually 5. So 5 and 7, question mark, has to be equal to 12. Always be careful. Make sure you read what is the final answer that the question is asking. Is it asking for the full side or just a piece? This one, it looks like I'm going to have to do some finagling to get this side length right there. Because the full side is 7x plus 3, and I already have 12 of that. So it looks like I'm going to have to do 7x plus 3 minus 12 to get this piece right here. Right? Because if the full thing is 7x plus 3, which let's say it's like 36, I would have to subtract 12 to get that other piece. So let's go ahead and set this up. I'm going to make this nicer. 7x, that's minus 9. That's what that technically is, right? 3 minus 12, that's negative 9. So I can go 12 over this piece, 7x minus 9, equals 20 over 55. I'm going to cross multiply, so that's going to give me 660 equals that side, so that would be 20 times 7x minus 9. 660 equals, I think that's 140x, right? 20 times 7? Yeah. Then 20 times negative 9, that's 180. Let's add the 180 to both sides. I'm going to run out of room here. 840 right there equals 140x. Gotta divide by 140. So x can equal 6. Oops. And that is the end of the video for today. I will see you in class. See you later, Sabers.